Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, December 11th, 2017. Looking at the precipitation over the past 14 days is quite depressing, really. If you look at the image on the left, you can see that some of the higher elevations of portions of Utah, Nevada, and Idaho have seen some precipitation, but compared to normal, it's far below what we would typically see this time of year over the past 2-week period. So quite upsetting if you are hoping for precipitation, because it's been very, very dry across pretty much the entire Great Basin over the past 2 weeks. Snowfall, you can see from the map there's been no snowfall over the past 72 hours. The image on the right shows our current snow depth, and there's some coverage across a higher terrain of the northern Great Basin, but again, not too much as far as snow coverage across the area. The satellite this morning shows a large high-pressure ridge in place across the Great Basin. This is responsible for the stagnant weather pattern that we are in. So for today, again, you can see this ridge depicted on the GFS height map on the left-hand side of the screen. Encompasses much of the western United States. And with this high pressure in place, you can see the ventilation index is poor to fair across the majority of the area. Transport winds are very light across the entire Great Basin, and our mixing heights are very low. On Tuesday, that ridge stays in place, but weakens a little bit as a system slides to the northeast of the area. However, we will continue to see poor to fair ventilation indices across the entire area on Tuesday. Again, with that high pressure in place, really light transport winds and low mixing heights across the area. On Wednesday, not much change. We start to get a little northerly flow into the Great Basin, but again, yet another day of those really low ventilation indices area-wide. And with that high pressure remaining in place through Wednesday, again, you see those light transport winds and the low mixing heights that combine to give us that really poor mixing. So the Utah Forecast Clearing Index shows not much change over the 3-day period, really poor mixing for the state of Utah, which is why lower valley areas will continue to see a degradation in air quality. In the next 3 days, unfortunately, no precipitation is in the forecast. It looks very dry across the entire western United States in the next 3-day period. Moving into Thursday, again, we remain under the influence of that high pressure ridge. There is potential for the increase in the ventilation index across the southern part of the Great Basin, but the majority of the area will continue to see that poor to fair ventilation index on Thursday. On Friday, the models are suggesting that a storm may drop through the northern part of the area. That could begin to improve the mixing further south, as winds will pick up ahead of that system if it does make its way through the area. You can see on Saturday some improvement is possible as far as the ventilation index if that system does make its way to the north and the east of the area. And then as we move into Sunday, it looks like we start to rebound with that high pressure, which would lead to yet another decrease in that ventilation index on Sunday. Looking at precipitation in the 4 to 5 day period, really only the far northern eastern portions of the Great Basin could see any precipitation. It looks very dry across the majority of the area through at least the 5-day period. Finally, looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, not a very optimistic picture here from the Climate Prediction Center. They all are calling for below normal precipitation for large portions of the United States, particularly across the Great Basin, where there is a 70 to 80% chance of that below normal precipitation. So pretty bad news if you're looking for relief from stagnant air or are just hoping for some snow. It's not looking very hopeful through at least the 24th of December. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. You can find our information on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.